Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at the Premium Bandai Master Grade Qubeley Damned. So, like with the Polypod Ball and the Stormbringer, this one again has some very unique box art on it. It's a P Bandai box, so that's why it's monochrome, but it also has this very interesting design. Again, this is something some people like, some people don't like. Personally, I like it. I think it's cool they're doing something different, and it's pretty interesting box art. I like how the number is AMX004, which is the Qubeley's number, and then they just abbreviated Damned at the end and just put the DMB at the end. So pretty interesting. It's a pretty cool design. Obviously, we can't see anything about the actual design of the kit at this point. We'll have to get the box opened up. I don't think there's any pictures on the outside. Oh, there is. Here we go. On the bottom of the box, there it is. It's the Qubeley with extended ankles, extended feet, a little bit more pointy, a little bit taller feet, very large giant hands, new kind of forearms to go along with that, and then the back is also a little bit different, and I think the head as well. So a few parts on there are different. It's essentially kind of the same design, just exaggerated in certain areas, and in a good way. I think they really took older Master Grade that, to be honest, the Master Grade Qubeley, it looks a little bit dated, but they made it look pretty cool, again, I would have to say, by the new parts they added to it. So again, it's just kind of the same thing around the outside of the box, just the title is not really much to see. We do have the list price over here of 5,000 yen. I don't remember how much the regular Qubeley is offhand for how to compare that. I'll have to check and let you guys know in the review. If I remember correctly, it's probably around 4,000 or 4,500 yen, so this is not too much more than the regular kit. This being a P Bandai kit, fortunately we do get some waterslide decals in here. Not a lot, and I'm not really too into that big marking, to be honest. But we do have some waterslide decals, which is nice. Of course, we're going to have a lot of leftover parts, a lot of parts from the original Qubeley kit that won't be used. I know someone's going to ask in the comments, can you build the regular Qubeley out of this kit? And I don't really know why you would want to do that. But offhand, I don't know if you can build the regular Qubeley with this, but you might be able to. What I would recommend if you're interested in building the regular Qubeley is just getting the regular Qubeley kit. But as always, guys, this kit is sponsored by USA Gundam Store, so a big thank you to them for that. I'm really super pumped to get a look at this kit. I think it's really cool looking. I don't think that it's going to be something that everyone is going to be into, just because the Qubeley itself is not something that everyone's into, but this is a pretty cool design, a pretty cool take on that. So here we have what the box art would have looked like, I guess, if they would have had just like the normal P Bandai box art, and I gotta say, that is some pretty awesome artwork for this, so that might have been cool to have on the outside of the box. But like I said, I like that they went with something different. That's okay too. And then we have a pretty interesting font here for the name of it. Also, they did something different on the outside of the box, which is interesting. On the bottom there, we have some information in Japanese and English about that, and then some more down here about Nozomi Shimizu, who is the pilot for this, and some information there about him. So pretty cool that the manual even has color at all. Sometimes for P Bandai kits we don't have color, but I think a lot of times for the Master Grade kits they usually do, at least on the outside cover. So on the back side we got a little bit about how to apply waterslide decals, and then a sort of action shot here, basically where to put all the waterslide decals, the markings on it. That big marking is meant to go around on the shoulder. Again, not really a big fan of that. I think probably going to omit that eventually on mine. But yeah, and then the color guide there at the bottom, it's basically just like white, dark gray, very dark gray, basically black, and then a little tiny bit of red here on these tiny little red circles there on the side of the leg there, excuse me. Alright, so going into our parts list, you can see, yeah, there's going to be X's all throughout. The old runners, parts that aren't going to be used, so you have like parts for the old head, old backpack, old feet, of course. And then we have our new parts over here. It looks like probably the new parts are starting from runner O. So runner O, P, Q, R, and that's it. So runner O, P, Q, and R are new. So a fair amount of new parts in here with this. That's a lot of exterior parts. A lot of the frame, I guess, will be new. As much of the frame as this kit has. This is an older Master Grade, so older Master Grades don't have usually a full inner frame. And I don't know offhand, I don't remember, but I'm guessing the Qubeley also does not have a full inner frame. But let's get a look at all the runners and find out. So first up, we do have one foil sticker here, which is just for the Qubeley's eyes. This is from the original kit, so this isn't marked specifically for the Damned, so it's going to be the same thing you get with just the regular Qubeley. And then once again, here is the waterslide decal sheet. Now you have like the big, huge logo, and everything else is just pretty much just generic little caution markings in black and white, and then a couple ones there in yellow as well. We got some Beam Saber effect parts, SB1 in clear pink, and it really would have been cool if maybe they would have given us some Beam Saber parts that had a little bit more kind of an effect to them, or maybe even like the really big perfect grade, like 160 scale ones, just because of these are supposed to come out of his like big giant hands, so something a little bit more dramatic maybe would have been cool, but I don't know, we'll see how they actually end up looking on the kit. PC 121 for a very large sheet of polycaps. Then we've got runner A, so again, the first majority of these runners here are all going to be from the original Qubeley, and you're going to have leftover parts from them, but this one is in 3 different colors, so you have one color here in plain clear, it looks to be for the eyes, some black parts there, and then this color here for these parts, these kind of mechanical parts, including like the cockpit in there as well, is in a really interesting kind of like light brownish gray, like metallic kind of color, so that's pretty cool. Runner B, obviously some of the large parts of armor from the Qubeley, and the white is actually molded in a kind of sort of very slightly pearlescent white. It's not just plain white, so it's also kind of interesting. Runner C is just some more of the large white armor parts, and we've got 2 of this C runner. And then runner D would be the last of our exterior white armor parts from the original Qubeley before we get into some of the new parts later on. Runner E is some mechanical parts, kind of frame parts, joint parts, things like that, and again, this is in that kind of gray, metallic-y, silver kind of color. And it's the same thing here for runner F, and then we're going to have 2 of this F runner. It looks like probably these are all parts for in the legs and in the arms. And then runner G is in just kind of a little bit darker gray, kind of like a German gray kind of color for just some more interior parts. Runner H, just some more of that, including our funnels there at the bottom. We're going to have 10 of those. We've got 2 of the H runner. Then we've got runner J1 for some more dark gray parts. And then we've got runner J2 for some red parts. Now this is in a pretty ugly shade of red. It's a very kind of like very cheap toy looking basic red color. Luckily we're not going to be using all of these parts. We're only using just these little tiny red parts again for going in on the side of the thighs. And then runner K is actually more polycaps, but this is actually listed as a runner rather than a polycap runner, so this is going to be a set that's specific for this kit. Then we're finally getting into some of the new parts here with runner O. So you can see that the exterior armor for the new parts is a lot more detailed than the original armor parts, so hopefully there's not too much clashing between that. You can see like this part is for the forearms, it's a lot more detailed, but this part I'm not exactly sure offhand where that part is going, but you can see that one doesn't really have a lot of detail on it at all. So hopefully it doesn't look too weird having the new parts being very detailed and the old parts having no detail at all. And then we have got runner 2 of the O runner. And then we've got runner P here for new parts for the front skirt, the back skirt or backpack kind of, and then other parts around there, and then for the head as well. And then here is runner Q1 is back to that metallic-y silver color, and some interesting things to point out about the hands. Number 1 is that each finger will just have the one ball joint at the base, so there won't be any joints in between on the fingers, so you won't be able to curl the fingers up into making a fist or anything like that. And the other thing is that you'll have a seam line on them, as there's a front half and a back half, or a top half and a bottom half of the fingers, so those will have a seam line all the way down the side of them. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know, we'll have to see how that actually looks when it comes together. But that's not a very good thing that you would like to see right off the bat. And then on the thumb as well, up there. Then we've got runner Q2, which is just a copy of this half of the runner over here. And then finally runner R is back to that dark gray color for just a few more new parts here. And we've got 2 of the R runner. So that is it for the Qubeley Damned. A pretty interesting design, pretty interesting take on the Qubeley. Definitely seems to be a little bit of 5-Star Stories influence going on there with this, as well as the Hyakushiki Crash, which I will not be reviewing. People have been asking me, and I'm not going to be reviewing the Hyakushiki Crash. I just don't like the design of that at all. Sorry for the box noises there. I do like the design of this one, so I'm anxious to get it built up. I'm not sure how this is going to be mixed with an old kit and the new parts. It does seem to be like there's probably going to be a good amount of seam lines on it, which is not bad. I mean, it's an old kit at heart. It just means it's going to be a little bit more work for people who wanting to make the kit look really its best. Anyway, that's it for the unboxing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again to USA Gundam Store. Check the link to their site down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.